Coming to you from Crash Studios in Music City, USA, Nashville. This is the Rich Redmond Show. On this episode, folk rock singer-songwriter guitarist Jonatha Brooke. And now, Rich Redmond.
What is up, everyone? Rich Redmond here. Yeah, it's another episode of the Rich Redmond Show, the show where we talk about all things music, motivation, and success. Coming to you from 3 cities. I'm in Music City, USA. No, 2 cities. I was in Los Angeles for a long time. Jim and I are in the same city for once. He's coming to you from a closet in Spring Hill, Tennessee. I'm coming to you from a condo right here on Music Row, Music City, USA. And today's guest, she is a celebrated singer-songwriter. Has been on my radar a long time. We have tons of mutual friends. Miss Jonatha Brooke, how are you?
Yay! Thank you so much. I'm well. I'm doing really well.
And so now you're married. Is that Miss, Mrs.? What's the right thing there?
I'll answer to anything at this point because my name has been such a troublemaker my whole life that, Jonatha, Ms. Johannatha, Janamanatha, Mrs. Joe, J-Bro, Shabangi. Yeah, it's all good.
My last name is butchered too. I get Redman a lot,
Oh, that's just silly.
Yeah,
or Redmond.
Because it's tough to hit the D on the end. Redmond. Even in the top of this show with me, Rich Redmond's show.
Yeah.
It's tough to say.
It's even hard for a voiceover artist of 20 years. And what's your other big word, Jim, that you have a hard time with?
Particularly, actually, no, that's not a bad one. Regularly is a
How about February?
Yeah.
February.
Aluminium.
Yeah. My problem. So my maiden name was Jonatha Brooke Nelson. But if you take the Brooke out and you just say Jonathan Nelson, people hear Jonathan no matter what you do. Yeah. So that's why I kept it to Jonatha Brooke.
Are there tough words when you sing?
Anything in French. Like I do this French version of one of my biggest songs, which is called Linger. And it kills me every time. There's just something about c'est écrit partout. Sur ta peau, toi et moi de bas en haut, et du bout des doigts, je nous lis à chaque fois. And I'm like, and then to stay in tune and be in French is just like beyond me. Yeah.
Now, why did you decide to do Linger in French? Now, that's how you got on my radar was Linger.
I don't know. That was really stupid. I was actually doing some touring in Europe at that point, and I had hooked up with this really beautiful songwriter who was doing these translations for me, Clémence L'Homme, and I speak decent French, so it seemed like, well, why not? So she translated a few songs, and I recorded them with Bob, and poor Bob Clearmountain, who co-produced Steady Pull with me and is my mixer of all time. Bob's like, I would do these takes in French. He's like, I don't know, was that good?
Because he didn't speak, right?
It's French to me.
Translator.
It's all French to me. So that is one heck of a record. I mean, you have a huge body of work, over 12 albums, I believe, and you've been at this a while, and that's why you're so darn good.
Oh, thanks.
But you got on my radar through that wonderful sounding record, Steady Pull, and we have a mutual friend, Miss Emily West, and I met you outside the Sutler. Now, this had to be 2000 or 2001, so people that aren't in the know, the Sutler is kind of our bitter end, in Los Angeles, it's kind of like the...
the Hotel Cafe.
Yeah, that's kind of and it was like the same owner for like 30 years, and it was just this wonderful dive bar where singer-songwriters can strut their stuff and work things out 7 days a week. And then, of course, Nashville has become all, dare we say, gentrified? I don't know. And so they kind of knocked it down and rebuilt it, and now it's just a total hipster joint. It doesn't have the charm. But I have a picture with you, a picture from a camera that you have to go to Walgreens and print out somewhere. I will find this thing.
Oh, you have to send that to me, yeah.
For sure.
I mean, like take a picture of it and then send it to me.
Scan it and send it to you.
Scan and send it.
So Emily West, yeah. So this was back in the era when my friends, we played band with this guy named Jason Aldean. He's a country rocker. We've been doing it for over 20 years. And at the time, we were like a rhythm section that would get hired to play all these record label showcases for people. And we got Emily signed to a record deal. And I don't know, maybe she invited you to a show, or somebody in her camp invited you to the show.
Yes, and she's so lovely and so good. And I think at one point we were supposed to write together, but we've just sort of been mutual fans from a distance for a very long time now, obviously for that makes it almost 20 years now.
Oh, I know. It's 5 presidencies?
Don't even start.
I know. So we have another mutual friend, Larry Aberman is a dear friend of mine.
No way.
Yeah, so we're all drummers. We celebrate each other. We have a fraternity, a lifelong
And he's the guy on Steady Pull.
He's the guy.
So there you go.
I was like, who is that drummer? And then I do these little drum camps. I call them Drummers Weekends. And Larry was one of my featured teachers. And the kids just loved him because he was so real and so down to earth and so raw, and just told them the real thing, what you need.
He's so amazing. What a joy to tour with that guy. He's just an awesome, steady hand.
So nice. He asked me to ask you about your Starsky and Hutch shirt.
Whether I still have it?
Well, do you still have it? Because I looked it up and you're wearing it on Letterman like 20 years ago.
I know. I still have it. It's like I wear it like once a year because it's almost shredded. And I hand wash it very, very carefully each time, and then I hang it to dry because it's about to lose control. But I love that shirt so much, and it's weird because it's a terrible, badly made t-shirt. Like Starsky kind of looks like this and Hutch looks like this, and it's just not a flattering portraits of them. But
old school Starsky and Hutch?
Yeah, David Soul and what's his name, Glazer.
I've been buying t-shirts that are kind of ironic and funny.
They're back. It was a 10-year cycle, and now they're back.
They never went away.
Well, check this one out.
Trash Panda.
Right?
That's great.
Where are you getting these, Jim?
$6tshirts.com.
Oh my God, do they fit okay?
They fit good, especially
That's
on
great.
me.
Look at them.
I mean, the only problem with the $6 t-shirt is every manufacturer, like, these Gildans where it's like really thick cotton, it just hangs off your arm. You got all this extra stuff. And so if you want to not have the extra stuff, you got to pay $60-$80 for a t-shirt.
At least. Yeah. If you want the form fitting, like bro
Which
shirt.
is what my girlfriend does. She's a fashion designer. So she designs, that's my number one pet peeve. She's like, it's the number one pet peeve for everyone that wants to have a comfortable t-shirt.
Totally.
So now with the Starsky and Hutch t-shirt, do you hold onto it for sentimental reasons, or?
Oh yeah. Are you kidding?
No.
Yeah, it's my lucky shirt. Like if I have like a stress gig or something that I'm really nervous about, I wear that shirt.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it. Just makes
Totally.
you comfortable and at home.
Makes me wicked comfortable. I love that color blue. It's a proven color. it's a proven lucky charm. It worked on Letterman, so like what it's
Is
my
it
little
a shirt
charm.
do you sleep in it though?
No,
Okay.
It's too delicate.
Yeah. There's
it
something
might fall apart. They're
when you have
literally
a
they're
t-shirt-
holes.
Yeah, you have t-shirts that you sleep in, and once you've slept in them, they're completely. It's like they're done.
I know, and then you just can't wear them the next day.
Now, is this wrong, guys, that I'm drinking wine at 4:00? It's 5 in New York.
Why didn't you tell me I should have wine?
Yeah, just tell the butler to get something up there.
I don't know, Lush.
It's 2 flights down. I'm in the attic.
Now, well, hey, Jim and I can riff if you want to go pour yourself a Malbec or a Pinot.
No. I don't want to miss out on you guys.
Glass of champagne.
Well, it's happy hour in the Minneapolis too.
Yeah, so that's where you're coming from. How long you been there?
Almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years in November because we moved here in November.
Oh, nice.
You guys get a lot of snow, eh?
We do, eh? We do. We get lots of snow, and it's just so pretty. But it's a little cold. By February, you're a little tired of the cold. So 12 below. But you get used to it because you it's life or death. So you definitely learn how to layer up and go forth carefully.
Sure. I heard wicked. Is that part of your vocabulary because you're from Mass, right?
I'm from Boston.
Yeah.
Go Sox.
Wicked pissa.
Mm-hmm.
Wicked pissa.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I heard that.
You got to put on your khakis, or you got to go get your khakis.
You got to go get your khakis. You saw that. What was a commercial with Ben Affleck? And no, it's with Krasinski.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
for the automatic parking thing.
And he sounded legit, man.
He was legit.
Jim
He's got
loves The Office. Jim celebrates The Office.
That's
now let me ask you guys,
show.
in terms of words, and I had this conversation earlier. I had somebody who she mentioned some sort of a drink, and she said orange. I said what? Orange? What is orange? She goes
orange.
It's a color. It's a fruit. I'm like, don't you mean orange? She's like, orange. Okay.
Oh, orange.
I don't know what accent that is.
Orange. Is that Boston?
Southern.
It's like orange. Orange.
It's a southern, but it's also a little bit of a northeast going on there. Because I said, well, how do you say Florida? So if you
Florida.
Okay. Now, Rich?
Florida,
right? Florida and Florida.
Florida. How do you say ROOM?
Room.
I say rum. And I get busted all the time. And I don't know if it's Boston or just Jonatha.
Okay. INSURANCE.
Insurance?
insurance.
So
Or do you say
right?
insurance?
Down here, they call it insurance.
Yeah,
In the South. Insurance. The emphasis is on a different
the wrong syllable. Yeah.
Different.
So, Jim, aren't you curious, Jonathan, how did this all start for you? I mean, this is like a fairly typical question in any interview, but, you know, the roots of where we come from, was music in your blood? Was it in the family?
My brother's a piper.
We've got to pipe her down.
Piper down! For real.
Stereo.
For real, my oldest brother, Todd, is a serious Scottish bagpiper. Like, got married in a kilt, the whole shebangy.
That's fantastic.
For years, he's been begging me to put him on a record, and I'm like, no, it's too loud. My dad was a trumpet player. My mother played the piano badly. My other brother is a really good piano player. So there was music in the house. I mean, nothing spectacular. I always thought I was going to be a dancer because I started dancing when I was 6. I started taking ballet lessons when I was 6. And that was my passion until I went to college. And that's where I started writing songs. And that's when it really did feel like being hit by lightning and like, oh no, now what am I going to do? Like, I guess this is what I think I was meant to do this. So I kept dancing for a few years and got it out of my system. And then I got a record deal, and that kind of made the decision for me.
That was MCA Records, right? Back in the day?
Well, the first one was Elektra, Warner Brothers. So I had this band called The Story back in the early 90s. And so I put 2 records out on Elektra. And then I got signed to MCA when I went solo.
Now, this duo that you had, was it with Jennifer Kimball? Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
It's now, where is she now? It's like
she's back in Boston, parking the car.
Yeah? So you guys keep in touch?
Yeah, I saw her actually when I was on the road last year. We had breakfast together. Yeah.
But now what's her line of work? Is she happy for you? Is this how does that?
Yeah, I think so. And she's made 2 beautiful records. She made a record like 2 years ago, I think. It's gorgeous. Check it out.
Nice.
Called Avocet, Avocet. Not sure if that's how you say it, but Avocet, I believe. She is working for a nonprofit, and she's also went back to school to study landscape design. She's like a serious plant yard like designer person. So that's always been a passion of hers. And she's got a kid. So
yeah. I thought you were going to say right away, I thought you were going to say she's made 2 amazing humans, because you always hear about people that are like, well, you know, I don't know if she got where she wanted to be, but she made 2 humans.
Yeah, I didn't make any humans. I just made records. But Jennifer decided to make a human, and that, you know, that's a whole awesome other path.
Well,
but
Jim has 3.
Oh, there you go.
Jim has 3. He's got his hands full.
I've got step humans.
I think we have the similar path in life, and where it's Uncle Richie's coming, and I'm the cool uncle with the drumsticks and the here's a jam, let's jam.
Totally. And I'm fine with that. It's weird because like people will come up to me at gigs sometimes and say like, oh, you should have been a mother, or like earlier before it was too late. You're going to regret this. Like you need to have children. I'll be like, you don't know me from Eve, and I don't think so. It's not in the cards for me. So
it just really went fast. I mean, we're similar ages.
It did, right?
I turned 50. I had my 50th birthday in the Joshua Tree. My girlfriend took me out there, and we just drank copious amounts of coffee and watched the sunset and sunrise. And I played this little LP Dharma drum, and it was amazing, so fun. But yeah, people tell me the same thing. Oh, Rich, you would have been such a great dad. It's not too late for you. I'm like, yeah, but I don't know at 68 if I want to go out for a pass. The kid's going to college and I've got arthritis.
Like, my arm. Yeah. I just, it never was, if you're going to be a parent, I think you got to be like all the way, you got to know that's in the cards for you. Like you got to be so in. And I just never had that, calling, and I think that I have a hostile womb. It was just like
that sounds like a record. The hostile womb.
It sounds sounds like a club.
I have a friend who wrote a one-woman show called Womb with a View.
That is so great. It's almost like the Vagina Monologues or Menopause, the musical.
I think the show is like that too.
So you did a one-woman show too, right?
I did a show called My Mother Has Four Noses. Actually, I came across this was our swag. Oh, I don't know if you can see it. Wait.
Yeah. Now, I'm so curious about this because you had a run
Kleenex.
in New York. Oh, no. Oh, for crying. Very nice.
Yeah, because it's, you laugh a little, you cry a little, it's a lot.
Well, that's a great one-woman show, is if you take us through emotions and show us a little bit of your history. And I want to do one. I really want to do one. And Jim, you're going to be involved.
You want to do a one-woman show? That'll be really good.
Show. Yeah.
You want to do a one-man show?
I saw footage of you playing this cute little kalimba.
Oh, the kalimba,
and which makes me want to get a kalimba. That was great. How did you? That takes a lot of coordination to set up the scene, and then you're playing this kalimba flawlessly and singing flawlessly. Wow.
I practiced.
Isn't that funny? That's how they say you get to Carnegie Hall.
It's so weird. I know. I had to practice a lot. No, I haven't. That would be fun, though.
We still have our little bucket list items,
Yeah. No, the show is called My Mother Has Four Noses, obviously, because you saw the Kleenex. And it's basically this love story. It was about me and my mom, and I cared for her at the end of her life for the last 2 years. And I wrote this piece that it was going to, I don't know, Mom was theatrical, let's put it that way. So like there was some indication in our last 2 years together that it wouldn't just parlay into 10 new songs, it would be theater. So I started imagining like, how would I tell these stories? Because no one's going to believe it unless I tell it. And then I wove 10 songs in and out of the storytelling, and it turned into this show, and I didn't know what to do with it except that it was bigger than a record. So I put it in the theater, and that's how it happened. And it kicked my butt in a great way. It really, it taught me so much about performing and practicing and, getting into this other way of storytelling, which is song, segue into monologue, segue back into the same song. It's just this really rich other way of integrating stories, and I fell in love with it.
Did you capture it for other people to see, or no?
Not in a. We filmed a rehearsal, and I think the footage that's on YouTube is from a rehearsal, but there's no audience, and it's just no fun. So my dream is to film it with an audience someday, once 2020 is over, and share it further, because I've done it around the country. And it does feel, it does really feel like a universal story, and people really respond. They love it, and there are talkbacks every night, and everyone is like, I can't believe you talked about poop. I can't believe you were saying all the things that I've been thinking, but I've been scared to say. So thank you, and yes, and wow, what a love story. So it touches a nerve for sure.
What if you did an online Zoom version of it?
I have been thinking about that, and yes, it's on the list of like, would this actually work?
Why not?
It's a little bit like doing it as a rehearsal with no audience because, it's you and a laptop. But yeah, I've been trying to figure out, okay, how would it work that way? I wouldn't have the props and the setting and the lighting, because there's some lighting cues that are super essential, but it would be a way to share it. And that's the silver lining of this pandemic is that like you can reach you can do a world tour from your kitchen basically. Yeah. So
I mean, go to a local high school and say how much to rent your gymnasium auditorium for a day, and maybe do a run through with your phone and see how it looks,
Yeah.
And
well, I did start doing that actually in the living room. I was like, let's just see what happens. Like, is this going to work? And
I think you might be onto something. Is that kind of stuff really takes off these days?
Yeah.
Are you a fan of Broadway at all, or any of those things kind of inspire you from early days?
Yeah, for sure. And I'm writing 2 other musicals,
Nice.
musicals that I'm not in at this point. So yeah, I'm definitely like, the mom show sort of veered me a little bit theater. I didn't see that coming.
You strike me as somebody who, that would, it makes sense. So
thanks.
Did you have some acting backgrounds in high school or anything, or no?
No, I was always the dancer. They always put me in the dance part. I was like Velma in West Side Story. I was like one of the Kit Kat girls in Cabaret, all that stuff.
I think my daughter can sing and rap Hamilton from start to finish.
That is awesome. I mean, like, what a great show.
Yeah. And the story behind that, did I tell you about that, Rich? With Lin
You
Manuel
told me that the
Miranda?
lead actor wrote it as a vehicle and a platform for his own.
Yeah. For his being a lead guy.
Yeah. If you
He said,
can't get the
be a
role,
lead guy on
write the
Broadway.
role.
Yeah.
But
That's
the
what he
world
says?
We're
That's-
living in. Yeah.
That's what he
great.
did. He wrote another one back in 08 or 09.
In the Heights.
Big. Yeah. That's right. That's right.
right.
Yeah. And he won awards for that one too. Yeah.
So I have many friends in Broadway. So many friends in Broadway. That my friend Sammy.
Well, all the
Marin,
musicians. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't. They're on hiatus right now. It's like. We're all kind of on pause, but it's a great time to kind of recalibrate, look inward. My to-do list of things that I want to do is growing and growing.
Yeah, right.
Because it needs to grow. You've hardly had anything on that thing.
My to-do
Really?
list.
It needs to grow? Are you out of your mind?
Sourdough starter. Sourdough.
Oh yeah, everyone was making bread at the beginning of this thing, and they were doing happy hours.
Yeah, right.
I was just happy to find toilet paper.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that was just the weirdest stretch when
About to start using
people
my
were
socks.
so scared about toilet paper.
Here we are talking about poop again.
It's all about poop, people.
That's right.
Like poop management.
Hey, everybody poops, okay?
Poop, there it is. So
That's like that REM song. Everybody poops. Sometimes.
we can
There's a
easily go
Broadway
there.
play
but-
in there somewhere.
We should write that one.
Yeah. Well, you know what's so funny? This conversation about your evolution and your beginnings. I don't know if you took any guitar lessons, did you? Or were you self-taught, or how did that work? The self-taught thing, it worked great for you. That's awesome.
Well, the jury's still out because
Well,
I have to
no.
tune my guitar all the time with all these Martian tunings. But yeah, standard tuning just didn't work for me. And so I started making stuff up from the early days because bar chords are just like, who wants to ever play a bar chord? Not
They're for
me.
bars.
They're for
bars.
they're for dumb things. And like with open tunings, you don't even need this hand necessarily. You could just like schwang on your D major chord all day long, and then maybe clump a little a fourfold on the 5th fret, and you've got your 4 chord. But like it's so much more satisfying. And then if you just mess around a little bit more, you get more dissonance per square inch too, and which is what I live for, is dissonance.
Right. So when you tour, if someone goes to see one of your shows, do you have some guy that's wearing all black, like that's handing you guitars all night long, or are you just talking to the audience and tuning after every song?
I used to have a guy wearing all black tuning my guitars and handing them to me, and that was so much fun when MCA was paying for that.
Right.
Ever since then, I've just had to learn how to be a good storyteller and kill time And also plan the set list carefully so that at least I'm doing a few songs in a row with the same tuning, and then story, tune a little bit, next 3 songs.
I've always admired that, Jonatha. I've always admired that, how people can multitask and like get a really nice quality exact tuning while not ing the audience. It's a skill.
It is a skill, and it's hard one. It's the 10,000 hours that you need to to get good at
I'm
something
thinking
like that.
10,000 hours, this thing is really, 20,000 hours is the new 10,000 hours. Looking at the time in the trenches, it really adds up. But really what made me think of that was our sponsor. I don't know what your thoughts on this. I'm sure you love them, Jonatha. The School of Rock.
Duh, yeah.
School of Rock is the sponsor of our show. There's 250 locations. We have 2 of the best right here in Nashville, in Franklin and Nashville. Jim, say something nice about our friends Angie and Kelly. Aren't they a cute couple?
They really are. They're you meet them and you're like, when you find out how old they are, you're like, wow, you look great.
That's what the marriage looks like.
That was my takeaway. Yeah, they're a very cute couple, very affable, very big on culture. They just opened a new location in Mount Juliet.
Yeah.
So you got
That's
that
so
going.
3
cool.
locations here in Nashville. So we, in Music City, USA, you got parents out there, they're dropping their kids off at ballet and soccer. And so now you get your kids involved in the School of Rock. They learn how to play an instrument. They learn how to front a band. But they learn life skills like how to take direction, how to show up on time, how to set goals,
That's
working in a
so
team.
great.
It's a great thing. So Nashville at schoolofrock.com and Franklin at schoolofrock.com. And you could say that Jonatha Brooke sent you.
Totally. And I would like to go to the School of Rock too, because there's a lot of stuff that I missed.
But they would just like to hear you talk and jam with them. Maybe you could, they could do concerts all the time at the Ryman, and they have guests all the time.
That is
great.
Awesome. See, my School of Rock was just this dumb, I had a rock band in 8th grade called Science Function because the science teacher loaned me his bass. But I'd way rather go to School of Rock in Franklin
Science
or
Function.
Nashville. Yeah. Science
That's a great
Function.
name.
Our biggest hit was a song that we wrote called She's a Fool to Be Cool.
Yeah.
She's a fool to be cool.
So again, like School of Rock sounds like a way better education.
But we love the School of Rock. They
Science
believe in the show.
Fraction?
They're our title
Science
sponsor. We love
Function.
them.
Function.
Science Function. What was one of my high school bands? Man, I had some doozies. Jim, you remember any of your high school band names?
Slick Chicken.
No way.
I had Radical Departure, and we were radical, man. We were trying to play odd time signatures, and I had the rototoms, tuning, standing up during the solo, and people could care less.
Did you have double kick drums?
China Boy that I played too much.
Oh my God. I had another band in college called The Remains.
But you did Ramones covers in a crazy way.
Well, that would have been way better than what we did do, which was like really kind of crappy originals mixed in with like
Brown Eyed Girl,
Madonna,
even better.
Shaka Khan, Van Morrison.
Shaka
Yeah.
Khan. Yeah. I mean, if you don't have Brown Eyed Girl on the set list, I mean, you're not a people pleasing band. It's you're gonna play it.
Yeah,
I was in a band.
It's a starter.
I was in a band in Connecticut called The Providers, and I was going through my Carter Beauford phase.
Yeah.
Playing drums.
Dave Matthews, music of the people, man.
The Providers. That sounds so dad-like.
I had all these different, and they were playing just simple kind of folk rock music, but I was all technical and funk and everything, and they were just constantly,
giving you the look.
Dude, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah. Well, Jonatha, you know what Larry says? He goes, because we're like cut from the same cloth, trying to play in a lot of different kinds of music because, and he's like, man, I have never played with anybody who plays a guitar like a click track, like a drum machine. All you have to do is fall in with that thing. And then usually from the singer-songwriters I work with, they're either really great singers and then the guitar playing suffers, the accuracy suffers, or they're a great guitar player and the singing suffers. And he's like, man, it was flawless.
Oh, that's wicked sweet. That's so nice of him.
Yeah.
I think that there's one thing that I can think of because I don't know how to explain that because I don't know that it's true, but it's very sweet of him. But I think that it's from being a dancer first. There's a sense of time that I keep in my body.
Makes sense.
And if I'm limber and if I'm like grounded, I feel it. And I do push and pull, but on purpose.
But it's a steady pull.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm the first guy to use that. Probably not, but
no, you are.
But there is a commonality between the arts. I mean, let's face it. I was listening to. I love this podcast off camera with Sam Jones, where he gets these incredible guests, and he had Javier Bardem on there, and it's like his whole thing was that, why do we do these things that we do? Well, I don't know, but it's just calling. It's this pull. It's just this. We have to, as creatives, we have to paint. We have to dance. We have to act. We have to sing. We have to entertain. And the commonalities that I see between like being a thespian or an actor and being a musician. So, and I'm sure it's the same with dance.
Totally. There's cross-pollination in all the things. And even as a composer, as a songwriter, I almost see voices like bodies in space, So if I'm writing background vocals, or even when I was writing for the story, there were these counterpoint melodies and like contrary lyrics and contrary melodies, and it felt like choreography to me. So there's all the, and some people will tell you that their senses get crossed. Like Joe Sample, iconic keyboard player of all time who passed away a few years ago, he saw keys in color. Like, so B flat was always green to him. There's always this sort of like weird crossing of senses and disciplines. And I think the more ways in which you feel music and see it, the better, the richer your composing and playing and singing will be.
Yeah.
Are there any guitarists that your fans would be surprised that you've been influenced by?
Yeah, who are your?
Pat Metheny.
Oh, wow.
I mean, not that I can't shred like him, but
right.
Off Ramp and Letters from Home are huge records for me. Like that I listen to. Like Off Ramp I just fall into a puddle of tears. I don't know, it just moves me so emotionally.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Pat Metheny.
Now,
guitar player. David Wilcox was a big influence in the early days. Yeah, for sure.
I feel like you're kind of an OG singer-songwriter. Like, I feel
what
like...
What does OG mean again?
You're like an original gangster. Like, you're like so respected.
Oh, that's why they call it the original GOAT. I follow this thing on Twitter. It's called M_Crouton. And it's this farm. It's a sanctuary in upstate New York. And they do a lot of rescue of like all sorts of animals, pigs and goats and chickens and ducks and cows. And so they have this one goat that's called OG, and it's like original goat. So I didn't know, like
we first heard the whole goat thing about 4 years ago. And these guys that we were thinking about getting into business with, they called their company Goat Lighting. And I was like, well, goat, what does goat mean? And then you hear Tom Brady being referred to as the GOAT. And it's
greatest of all time.
Greatest of all time.
Got that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
But OG, okay, go ahead.
But I mean, I feel like there's Joni, there's like Joni and Ronstadt, and then Emmylou, and then where did you fall in the lineage with? Or do you know her? Are you friendly with Ani? Because she seemed like she was somebody who took the industry into her own hands, like you did.
I met Ani in the early days. We were both at the Winnipeg Folk Festival. So me and Jennifer were there, and Ani was like just on fire. It was right on her ramp up to like killer. And so we were in the same circuit for a few years there. But she was always original and always indie. It took me 4 major label deals to get to the indie part. So she was just always an amazing badass and an example, and so smart, and so just completely could do anything, and just a great friend and example.
Righteous Babe Records.
Righteous Babe Records.
Yeah.
They were also like right around the time that I was really starting to write and get into it. It was Suzanne Vega was a huge influence, and Ricky Lee Jones, and who else was around then? Tracy Chapman. It was like really fertile ground when I was in college, and I was listening to all those voices, and Chaka Khan was a huge influence. So those are the people that were like right when I was percolating what my voice was going to be and what kind of writer I was going to be. That's what I was listening to.
Yeah. Man, because people ask me all the time, well, Rich, you're a Music Row guy. You've been making a living for 20 years playing this country rock music, that soccer moms absorb and they love and they tap along on the steering wheel. But like, what do you listen to in your free time? You know what I mean? Yeah. No, the Grand Ole Opry, they're like on 1 and 3.
Don't even. No.
That's a whole different experience. And we love that. We totally love that. I played so many times at the Grand Ole Opry with Pam Tillis. But I have such a soft spot for the tormented storytelling female singer-songwriters. So my Lucindas and my Sean Colvins and my Amy Manns. It's
totally
yourself. I mean, it's like all day, every day. And of course, I also love the Steve Earles and the John Mellencamp's I just love storytelling. If I had like a secret career fantasy, it'd be 3 things. Either I'd be the shirtless saxophone player that would be entertaining all the ladies, just circular breathing, table to table. I would be a sitcom actor.
Taking tips.
Which I'm working on. I love multicam sitcom. I mean, when Doug Heffernan is talking to Carrie on The King of Queens and he lands that left hook, it's like, I want to do that before I die.
That is
I
awesome.
want to know 3 chords and I want to sing my songs at the Troubadour as a troubadour. But I didn't get the pipes. I don't have the pipes.
You don't need pipes.
I have more of a hey lady kind of pipe.
Well, do that,
I can count off songs, right? What?
Bob Dylan can't sing. I mean,
Bob Dylan can't sing.
But that was on a time when it was okay to not.
But who says? But you got to do you, man.
I know, buddy. But it's just one more thing to do, and I am 50.
Maybe your first song is I just don't have the voice.
I can stretch and I can kick.
And I saw Molly Shannon
50
last night. She was so good. That's the I'm 50 girl. Was it Sherry O'Terry or was it Molly Shannon?
Molly Shannon.
Oh, it was Molly Shannon. So she was in this kind of dark. She was in a dark, depressive movie last night called Other People from 2000, I think 16. It was good.
Wow.
I'm such a positive person. I like to have dark, depressive things to listen to.
Counterbalance. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what's better than chick singer-songwriters for darkness and depression? I mean, we rule at that. How about Regina Spektor, though? Like, she's
beautiful.
She's so unusual. I love her.
My ex-girlfriend before Courtney introduced me to Tori Amos, and she's like, she's so deep. I'm like, yeah, she's humping the piano stool. That's right. I like that.
That. For some reason, I never got swept up in that, but she's awesome. She's incredible.
She's an acquired taste.
And then there's the Fiona Apple thing, right? Yeah.
Which I still haven't listened to her new record, but that's on my list.
Those are good songs.
Yeah.
Those Fiona Apple songs. It's funny you mentioned Amy Mann. The first exposure I got to her was through Rush.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
I'm still a fan of that first record, the Whatever record of hers. I still think that's like one of my top 10.
The Magnolia soundtrack was like, what is this? This is incredible. That was 21 years ago.
What do you think of artists
we're
like
a little nostalgic?
Lady Gaga?
Lady Gaga's killer. She's awesome. She's really, really
amazing.
Like, what a great singer. And she's quite a storyteller.
And it's funny because in the beginning, it's like, you really didn't have to do all that stuff. You're pretty dang good.
Yeah. Well, you see her like singing with Tony Bennett. You're like, wow, pipes.
But I think she wanted to have the machinery behind her, right? It's like, because let's face it, sometimes it's really helpful to have the machinery. Tour support.
It's free money.
Let's blow you up. Let's market you. Let's get you in Rolling Stone. And so she was playing the bitter end, I think, and she was playing Beatlesy kind of things, and it wasn't working. And then someone said, "Hey, let's dye your hair and get you dancing," and then it happened.
Yeah, and Katy Perry too. Like she was, clunking around Los Angeles, playing at the Hotel Cafe with a guitar and stuff, and then she became Katy Perry.
Yeah.
Lady
Gaga, just to me though, just has that. I mean, godly raw talent.
Yeah.
Just amazing to watch her play.
Yeah, and I do think that. I mean, even Katy as well. I think that they certainly created their own personae.
Yeah.
I don't think that they were manipulated or pushed into wearing meat, for instance, or a whipped cream bra. I think those were absolutely their own choices, and I love them for it. I think that, it wasn't like, oh, let's manufacture a thing.
Controversy.
Yeah, I think that they they really chose their own stuff, and I love it. It's great.
Are you able to maybe with the guitars and everything? Are you able to play something?
Oh, you want me to?
Wow, that'd be incredible.
Let's hear how it sounds at least.
What do you want me to play?
You could. It's a dealer's choice.
Like a whole song or just a snippet?
Do you? A whole song. I'm sure the listeners would love that. Do you have a situation where you do shows? It's like I saw John Waite one time, and he's got this great catalog, and the entire time there was some jerk in the front row that was like, "Missing you, play Missing You." So you get people that come and like steady pull.
Yeah, they're like Dog Dreams, which is a dumb, stupid throwaway song I wrote a million freaking years ago, and I don't ever want to sing it again. But there's always some dude from like 1987 who's like, Dog Dreams.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
Al Dean's got a song called Cowboy Lady that he had when he was a Cowboy Lady. Hey, Cowboy Lady. And this was before his record deal, so like he doesn't want to play this thing, but there's some people that have been with him for like 25 years.
Well, that's the thing. You got to give them what they want.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this thing.
You want me to get my guitar? We could do a duet.
Yeah.
No,
There's latency. And I've got my wine. This is like, and now you're doing a kitchen concert once a week, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, we should talk about that. Every Monday at 2 p.m. Central.
Nice.
I do a concert from my kitchen, and I sing and I play, and I have themes, or I'll like revisit an old record and do the entire thing, or I'll bring in a guest. Or last week I did this one about guitar tunings. I got into all my weird tunings and why and all that stuff. So, all right. I am walking past the sprinklers and the newly painted porches and the lemonade stand girls on a suburban afternoon. I am leaving because I love you. I am leaving because I don't. I am hoping you will follow, and I'm praying that you won't let me go. I am captive in your presence. I will melt before your eyes, but I still crave your approval, and I'm helpless when you criticize. You criticize, 'cause it's written on your body, it's on the tip of your tongue. Look in your eyes in the glare of the sun. Tattoo your cold fingers when you say goodbye. The way that you linger and the way that you lie. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You saw me through the keyhole of a door that I kept locked, but I will decorate the threshold, just in case you knock. When I might feel on the edges, you will never come to know who I might be in the corners. I will never, ever, ever, ever show. Yeah, never show. But it's written on my body, it's on the tip of my tongue. Look in my eyes in the glare of the sun. Touch of my cold fingers when I say goodbye. The way that I linger and the way that I lie. Yeah, yeah. Who said that the not seize the moment, and we will not leave the past. I don't think I was afraid of you, but how could I be sure? Oh, when with every altercation you were showing me the door. Well, here I go, here I go, here I go. Times, the look in our eyes and in the glare of the sun, touch of my cold fingers when we say goodbye, the way that we linger, the way that we lie, the touch of your fingers and the look in your eyes and the way we accuse and the way
Cymbal swell.
That's
This is the bad thing about
amazing.
having two drummers. If you're watching this, you can see, Rich and I doing the build-ups and
I love your bop bop.
Oh my God, that was great. And there's 3 verses. You're a rule breaker.
I know.
There may have been 4 verses.
There might have been 4. I keep doing that, and I keep trying to write simpler. I keep trying to remember that less is more, and I just need more dissonance and more weird crap, and I don't know.
That was so
good.
great. And so that is kind of like you're missing you. That's kind of like your calling card. And I love artists that aren't afraid to just own and accept something that brought them success, and they're you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, James Taylor's not complaining about fire and rain every night, is he? I don't think so.
right.
you want me to play that song again?
Yeah.
Yes, I will. Ka-ching.
Cha-ching. Living in Music City, I mean, as we know, anybody that lives here is going to say, this is one of the songwriting capitals of the world.
Yeah.
And, it doesn't matter if you're having success in Paris or the London music scene or wherever, you're always going to find your way in Nashville at some point to experience that thing. So what would your advice to be somebody that wants to be a professional singer-songwriter? Do they have to go to the watering holes of New York, Los Angeles, and Nashville? Can they live anywhere?
I think you can live anywhere. I think there are no rules now, and especially because look at us delivering stuff worldwide just from our bedrooms. You don't even have to put on pants anymore.
I'm not.
I think you can do it from anywhere.
I have pants.
I'm wearing pants, I promise.
Jim, do not stand.
Don't stand. I think to be sort of manipulated into thinking you have to be in one of the central places is maybe wrong now. And there are such vibrant music cities around the country. Minneapolis is one of them.
Sure.
There's some amazing stuff going on here. And people that belligerently, militantly choose to stay here because they love it here and they love this scene and they love these venues and they love their music making pals and they love Minnesota. And I didn't expect that. I moved here from New York 4 years ago, but I didn't expect to find this caliber of people here and the passion about our town. And it's kind of cool. I do love Nashville. I do love Nashville though, and it is like the art of the song, the respect for the song, the respect for the songwriters, as opposed to just like the glitzy artist. Like it's the respect for the songwriters that I find so satisfying about Nashville.
Yeah. But now you've, I'm sorry, Jim, we have not, this Zoom thing is still the Wild West.
Yeah.
Right?
We try not to cut each other off. But I was just going to say, you have been in some films. Your music has been in films and stuff. But you are always writing for yourself. Do you find yourself that you enjoy the collaborative process? Do you like writing for other artists, or?
I've been thinking about that. I think that I'm always writing for myself, whether it's for me or not. And I find it, I don't find it, I can't really modulate how I feel about melody and lyric. So even writing a song for Katy Perry was like, it's still a song I would sing.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like, oh, well, this is gonna be like her thing.
Now, which one was that? I'm sorry, I'm in the dark on that.
There's a song called Choose Your Battles.
Nice.
Actually, I brought my kalimba to the session. I'm like, what won't Katy Perry have? She won't have a kalimba, so I'm bringing my kalimba.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Now, was that a single for her?
No, it was track 15 on the deluxe version of Prism.
Tell you what, man. It's so funny.
Super fun.
When you think about the game that is songwriting, Jim and I have had many successful songwriters. And it's like back in the day when you'd write a number one song for terrestrial radio, you'd make $1 million, right? And now with the algorithms on all the, what do they call them? Digital service providers, DSPs. Your income is like,
nothing.
I wrote 3 number one songs for an Australian artist. I think my BMI check that just came in was for like $49.84.
Hey man, drop the mic.
Well, like my first royalty stations, I think it was like Pandora, the streaming services. My first from the Katy Perry thing, I like made $4.87 for like 500,000 streams.
That's a crime.
That's fair, right?
I thought I was going to pay off my mortgage. Oh well.
Yeah.
Katy will pay off her mortgage.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
And the other managers and everybody that has their hands in the pot.
Yeah.
Hey, but look, at least we get the song out of it, right?
That's right.
And it exists forever.
And we did that.
We did it. We took this music business and we did some fun things with it, and we're still moving forward. It's a good thing.
Now, the machinery of it is kind of should be threatened by now, because I mean anybody who's there's, how did Reggie Ham put it? That it's so organic that if you're trying to be an artist on YouTube or TikTok or any of these types of platforms, you can really write your own ticket now. Mm-hmm. Have you played around with the TikTok like the kids are doing these days?
I did one TikTok. It was me and the dentist, because my dentist was this very hip young dentist, and she's like, do you do TikTok? And I'm like, no, but teach me. So I'm at the dentist and I did one TikTok with my dentist, and it's super cute. But that's all I've done so far. I plan to kill on TikTok at some point, but
was it dancing? Did you dance?
I'm totally crushing on
no,
TikTok.
it was this, how they have like stuff that goes around, like little trendy things. So yeah.
140 followers.
Nice, Jim.
You do?
Me.
Ooh, they had this thing where people pretended to spill water in the middle of a song, like whoops, and I spilled water, and so they spill water on a baby, and the baby goes like, there's something funny. So like the dentist pretended to like spew the water from the mouth spigot all over me.
I'm looking at it. I found it.
Isn't it so funny?
See that?
These crazy kids, man. Jim and I
that's the only one I've ever done. But I love it. It could suck up my entire week, because it's so fun to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah. We just had a girl on who's, what was she, 23, 24 years old?
Yeah. She's only down there 5 months.
Yeah, she was on TikTok for 5 months. She's got over 3 million followers.
Damn, I better get on my game.
Oh my gosh.
She came to us with a mere 2.8, and it's up to over 3.4 now.
Yeah. Oh really?
Yeah, that fast, Jimmy.
Is she doing those dance things where they're like?
No, she's not. To her credit, and I even said this. I said, you're not using your lady assets to gather the crowd. You're actually using stuff that's funny and enjoyable. It's entertaining. She calls herself the CEO of facial expressions.
Like this.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, she's like the Lon Chaney of TikTokers.
That's cool.
Well, really? That's interesting.
Lon Chaney. Well, remember he was like the man of 1,000 faces, Jim, I know you got questions that are brewing deep down here.
Are we talking about? Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
It could be that segment of the show.
It could be.
It's the random question of the day.
I'm tied between two of them, but I think I'm going to go with this one. All right.
Aquarius.
Are you ready?
Okay.
How would the world change if superheroes and supervillains actually existed?
Well, they do exist.
Ta-da!
Oh.
Now Jim loves you because he's a Marvel guy.
Bam.
Nothing's
like,
gonna
giant-
change.
Iron Man costume.
I am inevitable.
That's a great superhero name.
Yeah.
Inevitable?
Inevitable.
Yeah.
Sometimes I look around the world we're in and I think to myself, maybe Thanos was right.
Thanos. Just kidding.
I'm not. I'm really
Jim's total Marvel guy. So, Jonatha, make sure you tell us about your Sweetwater Sessions, your latest record.
Yes, I always forget. There's so many things. There.
And I noticed you have a signed copy. You signed it to yourself.
Well, I think it's about to go out in a padded envelope,
Okay.
or I'm about to go out in a padded envelope.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So how did that happen?
I was doing a recording workshop at Sweetwater Studios in Fort Wayne, Indiana, the gorgeous, gorgeous world-class studios that are connected to Sweetwater, the music emporium, like they are the Amazon of music gear, and any music geek knows about them. Anyway, so we were doing a recording workshop, and we decided to revisit songs from my entire career and see what happened. But in doing that, they've got great musicians there. We were trying to demonstrate in the recording workshop how to give a live feel to actually recording with musicians in a studio. So we were doing live takes with all the band. And we thought, well, wait, if we're doing that as a sort of show and tell thing, like, why not make a record? Because we're in the studio and it could be fun. And I love recording that way anyway. I just try to get live takes because I like playing with the band. Right. So that's what happened. We chose 11 songs, and 10 of them are from across my oeuvre. And we came out with some great tracks, and so we're like, well, let's make this is going to be called the Sweetwater Sessions, because that's where we made it happen. And it's such an amazing place. It's a very can-do, will-do place. And of course, you've got the warehouse next door, so if you need a ukulele bass perhaps in the middle of your, I don't know, your Beatles cover track, you just pull it from the stacks and take it out of the box and play it.
They don't make you go online and orders?
Oh yeah, those things. Oh. Those uke basses are so awesome. Everybody needs one.
Virgilio, he was your drummer that day, huh?
Yes. Nick DiVirgilio, I used to tour with him as a trio, me and Nick and Ingrid. And Nick would play kick drum, hi-hat, bass, and sing background vocals.
Nice.
On the road. So it was me and Nick and Ingrid Groudens. Anyway, so Nick and I go way back. He's now at Sweetwater full time, but he's like their house drummer. So killer. Yeah. And I brought in my guy, Sean Driscoll from New York. So we could.
Have you ever tried singing and playing, Rich?
Well, I think I have the coordination to do it. Just no one wants to hear the timbre of my voice. It's like.
I think that you're just miscalculating.
When I was in the in the unequivocal Slick Chicken back in '93, we played "Sad But True" by Metallica, and I sang it and played.
Oh, nice! Is there tapes of that anywhere?
No, there should.
Good.
That was the VHS days. Thanks a lot, jerk.
I love it. This has just been so fun. I'm been such a big fan, and this really does speak to the law of attraction. The idea that I can meet you outside of a club, and then over the next 20 years, I meet a million people. We have a million common friends.
Yeah.
And then we end up on Zoom, and I get a personalized version of your biggest hit.
Aw, that's wicked sweet. Thank you. And I hope it didn't distort too much. I have no idea. I can't tell what you're hearing.
Understanding in this age.
Yeah, Zoom is what it is.
Yeah. We got to do What Did You Learn? Because we've gotten away from that.
What did you learn?
I think I kind of spoke to that idea that, that the idea of this law of attraction, that someone can come into your life and you don't even know each other very well, but then here we are 20 years later on this crazy thing. And
look at us.
Yeah, we're students of music. We're students of life. You did your one-woman show, so inspiring. I'm going to do mine.
That's great. Good.
Yeah, I can't wait. What did you do, Jim?
I learned that luck does come in the form of a Starsky and Hutch shirt while singing in French and finding funny ways to say words.
And superheroes are real.
They are real.
Indeed. Yeah. Indeed.
How was your time on Letterman? Did you enjoy? Did you get to kibitz with him a little bit?
I did. I made it to the chair.
Oh, you got the chair. Nice.
I made it to the chair.
Nice.
Yeah. Apparently, everyone in the control room, like whenever there's musical guests, are like, "Is she go? Is it? Yep. Hey, she's going to the chair. Yes." So yeah, I got to kibitz a little bit and so nervous, but yeah, it was just lovely.
That's nice. That is so nice. Yeah, we did that. We played that. That's such an iconic room. And you go and you see the little cityscape that's all these little LED lights. And you go back there. I just wanted to see what was like running this thing. And there's just like 5 inches of dust on everything. They never dust that cityscape. I wonder where it is now. I wonder where that cityscape is now because they had to redo the theater, I believe.
It's probably in a dumpster.
There.
It's in a dumpster.
Maybe in Kramer's living room.
In a wicked dumpster.
Yeah,
I love it. Well, this has been such an enjoyable time chatting. I celebrate your whole
Thank you so much. I really appreciate
you.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. This is really fun.
Great. And then so you have JonathaBrooke.com.
JonathaBrooke.com. I've got my Kitchen COVID concerts Mondays at 2 p.m. Central on Facebook and YouTube. I've got my new record, my Sweetwater Sessions. I am actually teaching masterclasses online. You can find out about those on the website as well.
I love that. You have a 5-part video series on how to be a master singer-songwriter, which is fantastic. It's very entrepreneurial of you.
Thank you.
Yes, it's very, very good. Very good. Group hug, guys. Thank you so much. And you guys out there, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. I got an email address for you, therichrredmondshow@gmail.com. You can send us some praise, whatever. We'll read it on the air. We love it. As always, subscribe, share, rate, and review. It takes 60 seconds, and it helps people find our show. All right, keep coming back for the good stuff, and we'll see you next time.
This has been The Rich Redmond Show. Subscribe, rate, and follow along at richredmond.com.